Am I the a-hole for telling my fiancé that his best man s***ed his little sister? Hi, 28F here. I'm marrying my high school sweetheart 29M in a little over a month and am in a difficult position. I could use some advice. My fiancé is the oldest of 3 and has a younger sister 25F and a younger brother 23M. I'll call his sister Riley for the sake of this post, and I like her, but we're not especially close. I invited her to be one of my bachelorettes since my fiancé invited my 2 older brothers and it seemed like the right thing to do. My bachelorette party was this past weekend. It was a lot of fun, but on the last night, Riley had way too much to drink. I walked her back to the hotel since she doesn't know my friends too well. On the way back, Riley started crying and said she didn't want to go to the wedding. I asked why, and she told me that my husband's best man, let's call him Paul, her when she was in 8th grade. Riley told me that my fiancé invited a bunch of guys over including Paul and she was literally asleep in her room when he came in and s***ed her. She said she tried to forget about it, but our wedding is bringing up all these memories. Aside from me, the only person she's ever told is her boyfriend and best friend. She begged me not to tell anyone. I honestly don't think she'd have told me this if she hadn't been hammered. I don't even know if she remembered that she told me because she didn't bring it up the next morning and she treated me normally. I fully believe what Riley told me. I like my fiancé's friends, but Paul has always seemed a bit off to me. Once in college, a bunch of our high school friends went out drinking while we were all visiting for Christmas break. I was in the back seat of a car with Paul and I couldn't get my belt buckle. I was very drunk. He buckled it for me, but then kept his arm wrapped around me for the entire drive. I was confused since I was dating his best friend and didn't know what to do today. I'd tell him not to touch me. I kind of forgot this happened until Riley told me her story and I went back and started thinking about all my interactions with Paul over the years. I'm now in a tough position because I don't want to share Riley's trauma with anyone since it's so personal. But I also feel uncomfortable with a standing next to me while I say I do and making Riley see the man who violated her when she was younger. I also don't want to see Paul anymore at social events because he might be dangerous. I know if I tell my fiancé, he'll do the right thing and stick up for his little sister. He also might beat the out of Paul. I want Paul out of the wedding and out of our life, but I don't want to betray Riley's trust. Would I be a-hole for telling my fiancé? I feel horrible and don't know what the right thing to do is.
Here are the top comments.
I would talk to Riley and remind her what she shared when she was drunk. Then I would tell her the feelings and experience you shared in this post and how you are certain her brother would defend her if need be. However, it's not your story nor trauma to share. The best you can do is ask Riley is how you could support her. I totally agree that Paul should be exposed, but centering Riley's feelings, of course. Believing her is already a great step. Best of luck to Riley and you.
Not the a-hole. Tell your fiancé that Paul makes you and some of the women in the wedding party invited to the wedding uncomfortable and you do not want him in your life anymore. If he questions it, just tell him that you cannot betray confidences because if you do and this happens again, someone you care about might not come forward. Then tell him that the incident was bad enough that Paul would receive a hefty prison sentence and end up on a registry. If your fiancé is respectful, he will trust your word.